Man can do what he wants, but not want what he wants. Arthur Schopenhauer. You grew up believing that love is salvation, that finding the right person would be your redemption, your safe harbor against the chaos of the world. Since childhood, they sold you this narrative. The prince finds the princess. They live happily ever after. Hollywood perpetuated it. Your parents confirmed it. Society applauded it. You believe this not because you're naive, but because you're human. Because this belief is the fuel that moves our civilization, the necessary illusion that keeps us functioning. But what if I told you that one of history's greatest philosophers had already unmasked this farce more than 200 years ago? Arthur Schopenhauer didn't just question romantic love. He dissected it like a merciless surgeon, revealing the hidden mechanisms that govern our most intimate relationships. And the most frightening part? Practically no one paid attention to what he actually said. Today you're going to discover why. While you dreamed of eternal love, Schopenhauer saw something completely different. For him, there exists a primitive and relentless force governing everything: the will. Not a conscious will, but a blind, savage impulse that doesn't care about your happiness, your dreams, or your well-being. This will has only one objective: to perpetuate life, and it uses you as a puppet. You think you choose who you fall in love with? Wrong. The will chooses for you based on genetic calculations that your conscious mind doesn't even suspect. That inexplicable attraction? It's your biology deciding which genetic combination will be most advantageous for the next generation. But here's the truth no one wants to hear. You are dispensable in this game. They told you that love transcends, that it elevates, that it saves. The reality is much harsher. For Schopenhauer, romantic love is the greatest hoax ever sold to humanity, an elegant disguise for primitive reproductive impulses. When you fall in love, you're not experiencing something sublime. You're being deceived by nature, which needs to make you believe that this specific person is special, unique, irreplaceable. Why? To ensure you commit enough to reproduce and care for offspring. And here comes the part that will hurt. After the reproductive function is fulfilled, the illusion simply disappears. How many couples do you know who, after years together, look at each other and think, "Who is this person beside me?" The will no longer needs you together. The mission has been accomplished. Now we arrive at the most dangerous territory of Schopenhauer's observations, the one that modern society prefers to completely ignore. You were taught that women are the weaker sex, that they need protection, that they're naturally more emotional and dependent. Schopenhauer saw this radically differently. For him, this apparent fragility is, in fact, the most sophisticated survival strategy ever developed. While men develop physical strength to face the world directly, women develop something much more powerful: the ability to manipulate reality through male perception. Think about it. Who really controls the decisions in a relationship? Who determines when, how, and where things happen? Who possesses the power to reward or punish through emotional approval or rejection? And now the part no one wants to hear. This isn't conscious malice. It's unconscious evolutionary strategy, as old as our species. Schopenhauer realized something that few men admit. You don't relate to a real woman, but to the mask she needs to wear to survive. This mask is constructed of performative vulnerability that awakens your protective instinct, emotional needs that create mutual dependence, selective approval that shapes your behavior, apparent fragility that hides real strategic strength. You think you know your partner? In reality, you only know the version of her that was calibrated to trigger your protective and reproductive responses. The real person behind the mask? That one you never met. And perhaps you never will. But if Schopenhauer was right, why were his ideas about relationships practically ignored by mainstream culture? First reason: uncomfortable truths don't sell. A society built on the promise of romantic love cannot admit that this promise is an illusion. It would be like a business admitting that its main product is defective. Second reason: academia itself conspired against these ideas. The intellectuals of the 19th century, and to a large extent still today, preferred to focus on the safe aspects of Schopenhauerian philosophy: aesthetics, ethics, metaphysics. The observations about women, relegated to footnotes or simply omitted. Third reason, men themselves rejected the truth. Because accepting Schopenhauer means giving up the saving dream of love. It means admitting that you are alone in this world, that no one will come to rescue you, that your happiness depends solely and exclusively on you. And that's a responsibility few men are willing to carry. So where does this leave you? If Schopenhauer was right, and the evidence suggests he was, you have two options before you. Option 1, continue living the illusion. Keep believing that love will save you, that there's a soulmate waiting for you, that a relationship will fill the existential void you carry. It's a more comfortable life, but built on quicksand. Option 2, accept the brutal reality and build a life based on your own strengths. Understand the games that are played, not to become cynical, but to become free. Free from unrealistic expectations, free from emotional dependence, free from the need for external validation. Schopenhauer wasn't a misogynist. He was a radical realist who saw beyond social masks. His observations weren't made to diminish anyone, but to free men from voluntary emotional slavery. The truth is this: you never needed salvation through another. You always had everything you needed within yourself. The will may have created the rules of the game, but that doesn't mean you need to be an unconscious player. If this opened your eyes to a reality you suspected, but had never seen articulated this way, share this content. Like, comment, subscribe, not for entertainment, but because there's another man out there living the same illusions you lived until now. Help reach someone who still believes their salvation will come through another human being. Because some awakenings cannot wait a lifetime to happen. Schopenhauer's truth waited 200 years to be heard. Don't let it wait another 200.